Hi, this is Ron Nutter and welcome to another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter product reviews. This time we're going to talk about something that if you don't have one of these already, you might want to think about getting one, and that's a circuit tracer. Now basically what it does is when, say, well, for example, you've just bought a new home and the breaker panel is either not labeled as to what breakers for what room, or you've got rooms that are not listed, but you know they're getting power somehow. Well, what you do is you plug in the transmitter that just is going past us into a live outlet. Hopefully it's live, and it will tell you by the lights on the bottom if it's wired correctly, so you get two for the price of one there. And then you go back with the circuit breaker finder, first starting it out on low and then gradually raising it so that it helps identify what breaker is for that room. And what I've thought about doing is taking the breaker number that's in the panel and every breaker that I find that's on that circuit, because let's face it, there's usually more than one room on a circuit in some cases, you can just put the number of the breaker on each electrical plate, much like companies do. And that way when something blows, you don't have to worry about trying to read the handwriting that's on the panel, or like I've done it once, go in with a label machine and label everything so you can plainly read it. This way you can look at the number on the plate and say, oh, that's 15. So you go back to the panel and sure enough, breaker 15 is kicked. Or more importantly, if you have to do some work in that room, or you're having work done in the room, you now know exactly what breaker to go trip. You don't have to go playing let's find the breaker. So you got everything there. It comes with the 9-volt battery in the receiver, and I would probably take that out because I don't like keeping batteries in devices, because occasionally they can go bad, and then if they start leaking, then it's all inside the unit. The transmitter doesn't need anything. It runs off the power in the wall, and then you've got the case that you see in the very back that keeps all this together. So this is a handy thing to have, because like I said, it tells you if the electrical is wired right, and I have had outlets that were wired wrong, and you've got then a way to help find the right outlet. Because one of the things I've got on my list to do is I've got an outlet that's dead in a room and I've got no breaker that's turned off. So I'm trying to figure out with this where this will go. I've had one like this in the past. This is a newer one that it's got more functionality to it, and I really like it. But this is something that's going to be handy for you to have, make troubleshooting just a little bit easier.